they have, in total, they have 36 letters.
36?
Yeah, a bit more than the Latin alphabet. And they add up with some special letters that use dots, I, O, and U, which have dots below the letters. So these represent just different ways of pronouncing those letters than we know it.
Okay, so can you show us like an example of like some of the sounds that you can make, or?
Yeah, like we come to the sounds a bit later, because there is one more twist there. I'll let you know first about the word order here. So that's the easy part. We want to start with the easy part, the similarities. So the word order is also subject, verb, object, like
English. Yeah. Okay. So far, so good.
Please note, I'm also not an expert in that language. It's kind of my first lesson here, so please don't mind my pronunciation. But I want to give you examples here. So, for example, Naya Zuru Anu, which is his father bought meat. So you can see it's a subject first, then the verb, then the object.
Okay, so good so far.
Yes, but what makes Igbo and really special about the language are two things, and then we come to the special pronunciation part. Say some parts of the words can be eliminated when talking.
Oh, okay, just like French, right?
Oh yeah, maybe it's a bit like French, yeah. So when the context is clear, for example, in the sentence "Nwa naaga," the child is going, the A in na might be dropped.
Oh.
So it's still clear to everybody who is aware of that language, who knows speaking that language, and it would be pronounced more like Nwa naga. So it's shorter and people would still understand.
Yeah, I think it does sound a lot easier to pronounce now that I think about it, so I kind of understand it. Like, I don't know, Italian has it with articles, French has it all the time with the consonant and the vowel afterwards. So there's a good need to have a way to make it easier to pronounce, sure.
Yes. I mean, it happens in a lot of languages. We have it in German sometimes too, that the words are just shorter and we kind of swallow letters.
Okay. But what about like verbs? Like, is there like, how do you make them? Like,
yes, that's a second special thing about this language is you can stack verbs together. So
explain.
That means, like, for example, in the sentence, he went to buy a book. You don't need this to that we have in English. So it would be more like he went buy a book.
Okay, that's interesting. You could just like stack them on infinite. That's interesting.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna go after this show and like trying to stack as many verbs as possible. It sounds very fun to do.
Maybe it's just a question if it makes it easier or a bit more complicated.
I do not know that. Unfortunately, this is the first time that I hear this language, but it seems very fun so far. There has to be something like that's gonna ruin like everything.
I wouldn't say ruin, but here's the twist.
Okay.
It's a tonal language.
Oh no, it's tonal?
Yes.
Oh boy.
So everything you've heard me saying now, all the examples might be like pronounced completely wrong because I pronounce them in the like normal way I would read Latin letters. But let's give you some examples about the tonal syllables here. So we have the high one, the mid one, and the low one. So it's just 3.
So not like kind of like not like Chinese. They had like the rising one. There's only 3 of them.
Yeah.
Because I was about to say like, oh, finally my 1 year of Chinese that I did like years ago is gonna be helpful now. No, okay. I mean, at least it's easier.
But I guess 3 of them are at least similar to 3 of the Chinese ones.
Yes. Yeah.
So let me give you an example. You have the tones like only on the vowels. So they're always on the vowels. And there is a word you can pronounce with different tones that means very different things. For example, arkwa, which is bed.
Great.
Then you have arkwa, which is egg.
Okay.
And then you have arkwa, which is cloth.
Cloth. Okay.
Yeah. So
very, very different meanings.
Absolutely. And you gotta be just careful when learning this. I think it's a difficult thing for people who have never done it, like me, for example, but I tried my best here.
Yeah, but it's very interesting to see how many different like languages and like variants and rules. Like, it's so cool to see all of these. Like, up till now, I didn't know about this language, and I think a lot of people should know. If you're like a language learning enthusiast, this one could be one to impress your friends. Or
absolutely. And you might find somebody on Tandem who helps you actually with those tones.
Yeah, I think you should go on Tandem and get someone native to help you out.
Yeah, it was quite hard to just do it online. Like, I tried in preparation for the podcast. I think it helps a lot to have a person.
Oh yeah, for sure. But if you want to get the idea of what this sort of language can produce, like in terms of other media, this region also has the home of the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. Here you can find a lot of authors that have been kind of like making both historical and like fiction and books about a lot of different topics using non-linear structures, and I would love to go more in depth about all of these novels, but if I did, we might have enough material for an entire episode on its own. There's so many different areas and so many different themes, so it's like, but if you're interested in the academic output, it's very interesting. I really highly recommend you check it.
And where would you go in the country if you would want to explore the nature?
Yes. If you want to explore the nature of Nigeria, there's only one major place that you should go. It is the south part of Nigeria. And you want to know why that is?
Yes, please.
Well, because the south of Nigeria has a very interesting advantage compared to the rest of the territory. There's an entire coast. You know what that means? With coast and water, there's a lot of rainforest, there's a lot of waterfalls, there's things like rivers and coastal cities. And yeah, it definitely is the best place if you want to look at Nigerian nature.
Nice. And since it's so close to the Atlantic coast, I guess there's some good food too?
Of course, you bet. You bet there's some great food out of it because Nigerian food culture is very, very diverse. I'm gonna be straight up very transparent. It's very difficult to pinpoint down which ethnic group invented what dish, what is the official version of it. Everybody kind of has their own little interpretation. But if you know something that is very interesting about Nigerian food culture is that things are more about community gatherings. So big plates, share it with everybody. And not only that, but there's a lot of very indigenous ingredients that not a lot of people know about. Like, for example, vegetables and leafy greens, like the water leaf or something like the okazi. They're kind of like similar to spinach in a way, like if you had to kind of give it a comparison. But they are something that you don't really find in your local grocery store, that's for sure.
Nice, very interesting.
Yeah.
Traditional dishes are often also accompanied by so-called swallows.
Wait, what is a swallow?
So a swallow, like for example fufu, eba, and also pounded yam, they are called swallows or swallow foods. And it's not because they're eaten very quickly, but it's because you don't have to chew them.
Wait, so you just get a spoon, you just put it on your mouth? Okay, that's...
Apparently. So it's usually a bit like first tryers or first timers are getting a bit nervous about it, I heard.
Yeah,
I haven't tried it yet.
I feel I'm gonna be honest, if I tried it, I would be a little bit scared of choking on it. I mean, probably there's gonna be very mushy and very easy to swallow, but when you describe it, it does sound very like, oh, I have to just go in, like, no, nothing.
Maybe you need a local guide for that too.
Yeah, probably I would need a local guide, yeah, or at least some time to prepare mentally before doing that. Because it's funny that you mentioned like these sort of side dishes because it's kind of different from what I did find about Nigerian food culture, because a lot of main recipes and staples are very one pot for all. They're one, like city homes, you find like large samples of large bowls that you can just share it with everybody. And there is one staple. If you had to define like Nigeria's food culture with one soup that defines families for generation, it is the Egusi soup.
Okay, what is it made of?
So the Egusi soup is a hearty and flavorful mega dish made from some very, very interesting ingredients. So I'm just gonna list them to you because it takes a lot of different turns.
Okay.
So the first and main ingredient is the Egusi. The Egusi is melon seeds.
Okay.
Yeah, already off to a great start. Since they grind it to a paste, they get a nutty flavor, they give thickness and great texture. So it is the main appeal of the move. Without an Egusi seeds, you can't do an Egusi soup. Like that doesn't happen.
Okay.
Then, you add a little bit of palm oil, for richness and some like a red hue, because like it's red in color, so it gives that a red look. And then you go for your leafy greens. As I already mentioned before, a lot of different leafy greens are available in Nigeria, but this one can vary from family to family, from pumpkin leaves called the ugu to a bitter leaf, or if you want something more familiar, spinach is also a very popular choice. Yeah,
That's what we know.
So don't worry, you have something familiar for yourself, the spinach. And what about proteins, just so you know, like proteins in these soups can vary very wild. There's no like set rule of what you can put in a soup. It can be seafood, it can be goat, it can be beef. Like honestly, anything goes. And lastly, you can't have a massive soup without seasoning, And the seasoning for these soups can be quite varied, but most of the time it includes things like crayfish, it includes a lot of pepper. Pepper is a very big deal in a lot of the seasoning mix. And things like fermented locust beans, sort of to get that umami flavor, So yeah, we all search that umami flavor, and honestly, I kind of want to try it. It seems very, very fun.
Talking about searching for it, where would be the best place to try such a soup?
Yeah, that's the issue though. Like, you can find it in a lot of places, don't get me wrong, but like no two Egusi soup are the same. Every single family has their own little like recipe. They have their own different tastes. Some people like it runnier, some people like it more, more thick. And it's like there's a lot of regional differences. So no matter where you go, you will find it, but don't get surprised. If you don't like one Egusi soup, you will probably find another one that fits your needs. And speaking of like maybe trying it for yourself, if you go to Nigeria, you want to kind of get that flavorings. Be careful about when you get it,
Okay.
Because in some urban areas, there have been some reports of fake Egusi powder Yeah, I know, like in some markets that are a little bit shadier, sometimes they're made with ground pumpkin seeds, so it's not that bad. But even in some Facebook communities, like local Facebook communities, they have been reporting, so even people selling it with chalk mixed with flour. Yeah.